Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. News, views on the news, commentary, another message to preach and teach. And keep this in mind. And this is to all of you practitioners of witchcraft. Yes, I'm talking to you, the black women currently coming to my channel, angry at the video where I said, because you left us alone, we are saying bye-bye. We're leaving you alone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Period. You're no good to us. And the average Afro man understands this, right? So I got a few comments from a couple of people. A bunch of simps start coming to the channel. All right. And let me break something down to you. The simps are worse than you think. And the best way for me to put that to you is by saying this. In here, the inspiration for the commentary coming from the simps and a black woman is this. Okay? For this, we got a bunch of simps that tried to keep us on the plantation. The plantation in the Afro community is currently run by the black woman. Okay? And so we have the Triple S crew and the black woman running the plantation. And you have the awakened men that realize that they have subjected the community to the same conditions as slavery did, where there is no work for yourself. There is the doctrine to depend on the government and the Democrats the rest of your life. If you don't do that, the black woman and their men, the simps, will try to whip you in shape. You know, these hotep groups, these new pseudo-religious groups coming out. And then I said, where else has this occurred other than the Willie Lynch papers? All right, one of the freest things that Afro men have is to have the same choice in relationship that the black woman and the white men have been having for a long time. All right. Now, the first desire, let's be honest, had been to the black woman, but the black woman didn't want the good Afro man. You had to be a thug, a lesbian, a white man, or anything but a good man. If you didn't go to prison, get a record, they didn't want you. And then in the meantime, all those groups pumped them full of diseases and a bunch of stuff where they had in every negative category. The black women heads every negative category. So y'all could go back to the charts and other videos that I put up. And now they're mad because not only have I pointed it out, not only have I shown the charts why we should leave, they mad because we woke up, because they failed at their job to keep us on the plantation. And now you got coming to my page, and y'all got to watch out for these guys. The Triple S crew, the simps, sambos, and sellouts. These are guys that will sell out their own manhood and other men just because the black woman got a big butt. They are sambos because they're the ones, the guys that's trying to work, the guys that's trying to save other Afro men. They will work to whip that man until he gets back into compliance with the Caucasian system. What is the Caucasian system? The Caucasian is this. And this is a comment from black women on my page and some of their simps. A black woman and some of the simps said this. If a black woman don't want an Afro man, right, then he should die alone not be with any other community of woman. Now, I'm going to show you how deep these hypocrites are. Is because basically any black man that comes to anybody's channel and say anything about him deciding to leave the one that has caused the most damage. And remember, we're talking about over 22 million abortions since 1973. If you count California and Maryland, you're probably closer to 50 million abortions by the black woman, the worst place for a child to be. Right? So killing us. Almost worse than slavery? I don't know. They're close. No, slavery is hundreds of thousands. The black woman has done more damage to the Afro peoples than anyone through abortion. All right? But here's the thing. Y'all don't understand the impact of these sambos that's coming up. Let's not call them Uncle Tom. Let's act like we have some sense and know the difference between Uncle Tom and Sambo. All right, I want y'all to pay attention to this real quick. All right, and you'll have the breakdown. Listen to this guy.
So when Harriet Beecher Stowe put out her book, what she tried to tell black folk is that Uncle Tom was not a bad guy. See, Uncle Tom, you read that book, and most blacks, 90% of blacks never read it. They always call another black, he's an Uncle Tom, he's an Uncle Tom. He's not an Uncle Tom. If you read.
So half the dudes commenting on all these channels don't read. Let's continue.
Read the book Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was a guy who would not beat black women. Uncle Tom, that book, was a guy who would not beat other blacks to make them pick more cotton.
Not beat black women. But who do black women talk to? The ones that beat them the most. All right, so they're talking to the Sambos. Who is black women having babies by? The ones that's actively going around in the community and killing off the community through violence. And then the black woman herself is killing off the community through abortion. Think about that for a minute. So I'm not going to judge you by your skin color. I understand that certain skin color brings with it certain risk. And now you got that even with the so-called black people. Right? What tells me you're an enemy is the death and destruction that your choices has made to the community, and how you cannot stand me for trying to be a good man and do right by the community. Think about it. The black woman cannot stand the dude that's trying to do right by the community, but she wants to control his D. And you got all the rest of these Sambos on here trying to control the D of the Afro people by trying to whip them into shape, saying that the Afro man needs to die alone rather than be with another woman, because it's not allowed. Because the slave master says it's not allowed. See, because they're still on that plantation.
Uncle Tom was a guy who would come in at night and take cotton out of his own bag and put it in other black folks' bags so they wouldn't get whippings at night. Uncle Tom was a guy who would not tell where black folk were hiding when they went across the river and they broke free as slaves. But Simon Legree, the white slave master, had a black that followed him around named Sambo, who always says, you show me, give me the right, I'll show you how to trees the coons.
And that's exactly what these sellouts after the black woman's booty are doing. Oh, let me handle this. Let me handle these black people that's trying to leave the plantation, go down to Brazil, who found them a woman that's not under your control, black woman. Because we are supposed to be under your control. So let me go on his channel and call him names and stuff. These ain't nothing but Sambos trying to whip everybody in shape. And what's making them upset is, yeah, I'm not one of them weak Negroes. K-N-E-E-G-R-O-W-S. I'm not one of those. See, I know who I am. And I know what I'm supposed to have as a man that's been trying to help out this stupid community. Now I got to just try to teach these children that, yeah, they have options. Like I teach the Afro men, we have options. We don't have to put up with the BS coming out of the mouth or the actions of the black woman or her simps.
I'll show you where they hide. And see, that's the guy.
Josiah Henson was the little-known man behind one of the most notorious characters in history, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom.
Again, that name was Josiah Henson. That's where she gets her story. Harriet Beecher Stowe, that's where she get her story, Uncle Tom, from. Josiah Henson.
In talking about Uncle Tom, we have to be careful because it has a legacy rich in racism. The term Uncle Tom has become this derogatory term, but really the character was never written to be that way.
About 1852, a lady named Harriet Beecher Stowe wanted to write about it. So she then wrote about the whole thing. She interviewed a guy whose name was Henson, which you all would know as Uncle Tom. He then told about the story. She wrote a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. But in that book, contrary to what most people think, Uncle Tom was not the bad guy. The bad guy was Sambo. And so I'm asking you all as my brothers and sisters, please in the future don't call a black guy who you know is worthless and trifling. Don't call him an Uncle Tom. That's complimenting him. Call him his real name, what he's entitled to, and that's a Sambo. Any black person sells his own people out and will do them in, he is a Sambo.
And what are all these simps trying to do? Think about it. Think about the comment that these simps said. They come onto your channel and they say it's better to die alone than to be with any other woman, because the woman that's actually doing in the community, hold on, to the point that she created an extinction level event within the Afro community, the black woman. The abortion by itself has drawn us over into on the side of extinction. We're not reaching our retention point. That retention point, what we're talking about is if you have two people, they're replaced by two children. No, not happening because of the murder of the black woman through abortion. And these Sambos keep coming to the channel saying, yeah, that's right. We need to whip you back in shape because you're trying to leave the plantation. We're going to tell massa you leaving the plantation. And in this case, the massa is currently the black woman and her massa is the Caucasian system. Brothers, we got everything against us. That's why we pick the woman that's going to make us happy and rebuild elsewhere. Because it's all about the seed, regardless of what the simps say, it's all about the seed. And we don't have to worry about them anyway. They like being enslaved. I don't.
Now, what is a Sambo again? Going back to Meritorious Manumission in 1710, the whole conditioning process, the whole brainwashing system, the whole social engineering system says that you must teach black people to see the world through the eyes of whites. You must see everything through their eyes. You must accept their values, their superiority, whatever they think and feel, and that way we got you contained.
All right, now let me explain superiority, how that works. The containment. They got us contained to where we do not deliver our seed and train children. Do you know what's the most important? What's most important is who's the head of the house and who gets to teach the seed. And the black woman in the Caucasian system stripped the Afro man of that, while the black woman allows the Caucasian men to continue the teachings of their seed which is now Caucasian because the seed is Caucasian, to be the enemy of the Afro men. What am I talking about? And this conditioning. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this right here. Jobless Dutchman finds work as a king in Ghana. Hold on. Jobless Dutchman finds work as a king in Ghana. I did this study before, but this is relevant to now. Amsterdam, a middle-aged, paunchy, unemployed white man plops down on a sofa to watch TV with his children. Meet King Tabik Corsi Ferdinand of Ghana. So they went to his house in I forget which Dutch state, in Holland, yeah. So think about this. They went to his house in Holland. He don't even want to be in Africa full time, right? In Holland, he is Henke Otte, all right, a Dutch construction worker on welfare. In West Africa, he rules part of the Volta region, home to tens of thousands of Iwes, who revere him as Tagbik or king. Think about this. And so when I did the story before, one of the black women of the tribe, that's princess and stuff, said that she is the reincarnation, and basically because of the practices, let's say spiritualized practice or witchcraft of the women in many of these tribes, she saw her father in this Caucasian man. All right. So he is 43 and he has 38 wives in that tribe. So he 43, born and raised in Amsterdam, like his parents, lives in the Amsterdam housing project with his wife and 2 children, and ordinary life would have suited just fine. But while visiting his home, the hometown of his Ghana-born, Mapeo Kupui, in 1995, he was identified as the reincarnation of the late chief wife's grandfather. Y'all see this? Y'all see the sellout? All right. The black women from all the way since Africa has been doing this to the Afro men. Period. Why? Because for an advantage. Period. Think about this. Okay, another thing I want to bring up. This story right here. This was all over the news. This was everywhere. The story of how a neo-Nazi could get a black woman to marry him. Okay, but I want y'all to understand something. This is not just the case with them. All right, this is just not the case with them. There's a deeper issue, as you see, that the hypocrisy is so deep that no one even talks about it. And the deeper issue is this. As you see behind them, Eve. Eve wanted those 4 Caucasian children to call her mommy. Eve wanted 4 Caucasian children to call her mommy. Think about that for a minute. Nobody had nothing to say when Eve married the Caucasian billionaire. The women jump for joy. Different reaction when we get to the end, when we look at the Afro men. Another woman with a neo-Nazi. Understand this. A lot of these women are going around and they're marrying these neo-Nazis. Where do they mostly congregate? On Reddit. The neo-Nazis, all the people that really have something against Afro men congregate on Reddit. Well, who created Reddit? Oh yeah, Serena Williams' husband. The founder of Reddit. All right? And y'all know what Reddit is. Y'all know what it is. And she married the guy that created it. But nobody had nothing to say about her. Well, she got a big butt, so she gets a pass. All right? But she stopped getting a pass amongst the awake. Amongst the awakened. Now, let's take a look at a bunch of comments. This is the mentality of the black woman. The black woman posts this publicly. And this is why I said we need to leave them alone. All right? Outright rejection is because the strength and the resilience and the resistance from disease of melanated skin is not seen as beauty to the black woman. But funny, Brazilian women like it. Caucasian women like it. A bunch of other women are liking the Afro man and the melanin of the Afro man all around the world. And you got a lot of brothers traveling. Me and a couple of brothers was talking about this. There is much love for us outside of the black woman. One of the reasons you can't make pretty babies with a black man, black women are saying this. Brothers, now let's be honest. How many times have you heard this? All right? Black women are all over the place with other black women, relationships with other black women, relationships with white men, relationships with thugs. Oh, but they're sambo? They're sambo men? They're putting stuff like this out. How black males feel while bashing black women. They call telling the truth black bashing. See, that's the whip of sambo. They see no truth. They only see that their job is to keep other brothers on the plantation because they're not brothers, they're sambos. Their job is to keep us on the plantation. All right? And this is the problem within our community. That's why we can't build with anybody. All right? When Meghan Markle married a Caucasian prince, the black women celebrated. Now, let me say this. Let me just say this real quickly. The Afro man really never had a problem with who the black woman got, because we kept saying she keep running to them, then we don't have a choice but to go to the other women, because she's not available to us. But this is how we know that she was trying to keep us on a plantation. She's like, no, we can do whatever we want to do. That's what the black woman say. But you, as the Afro male, you're not allowed to leave the plantation. You're not allowed to do what you want to do. We are here to keep you in check. If we don't want you, you have to die alone. There are some of us brothers that's saying F that. Some of us are more stronger minded, Kanye. Some of us more simp minded, Tyrese. But even he had to wake up and say, you know what? I got to do something different. And Kanye just don't give a F. Wait a minute. That's kind of the mentality of most of the Afro men coming up now. We don't really care what you think anymore. You can hit the wall too. If you want us, first of all, you didn't want good men. Now that we're getting other women, you're jealous and angry. But you got your simps and thugs. Oh, but you got them doing your dirty work. Well, all y'all can hit the wall. We out. And for the true brothers and sisters, my donation link is in the description box. And I still am helping out the community because I think the children are worth something. The ones that you haven't murdered through abortion. All right. And I still stay active in helping mainly Afro people. What are all y'all doing trying to keep me on the plantation? Trying to keep me from going to Brazil or other places? Yeah, the Sambos are at work. The Sambos are at work. And some of us brothers, we're not putting up with it. With that said, I'm out.